Here we reach the parts of insect and amphibians. So you can see that the legs that have six are called insects, and these that has different legs will be called amphibians. And each of them are unique, even though they can group them into big species, but they have slight differences. You can see these spiders, they're big, right? And there's smaller versions of them too. And crabs, this is big, right? And that is also a crab. These are shrimps and they're big, right? But they could even be bigger. And these little worms, they can be even a bigger version of themselves. Don't get me wrong, but they do fight together since species want more land. You can think of them as little humans. They may not have complex minds that we have, but they do know sense of power, energy, and all kinds of stuff. That's why you can see ants fighting against each other, and that's why you can see spiders dueling with each other. Here is humans. It's not the older versions where we still hadn't clothes on our shoulders. But this is where farming has evolved. Humans are now using hoes and shovels to create farms. This is called the evolution of agriculture and the demonstration of animals. You can see that we now have different tools. Very different. We have books like this, instead of just stone tools like this long time ago. And you can see that there's even writing on them. Now we can read how to do stuff instead of just, picking rocks from under a river and then picking it up and then using other stones to cut it and sharpen it. Now we have books to tell us what to do. We have language, symbolic language, that we can use in our daily lives. Once humans are done evolving, at least for now, they start to develop their technology. So right now, they have instruments, tables, and bowls to eat stuff, and even houses to live. And they also got some new inventions too, like pots to store flowers or drinks. And even these seats that are very comfy in that time. And doors are also a new invention. Instead of holes, they have proper doors that you can open. See what they're doing right now over here. This represents time traveling. You see, from these kind of humans into family communities, you can see that they're fishing or someone else because I couldn't think what they're doing. But anyways, there's now family communities and new kinds of stuff. For example, these mud boats turn into these. And there's also hats that you can wear. And also these stuff which store a lot of stuff, but they're now gone because humans found new ways to store more stuff. And this explains how humans evolve and advance their technology over and over again is the process of collective learning. Collective learning is a process when, something, one technology that is from a generation and lost by the next, replaced by a new one that is much more better. In the future, humans will change through evolution because our natural habitats and what we've done to ours. Maybe in the future, when our technology advances, we will replace our body parts with new ones that are much more advanced than just, human arms. Maybe there will be mechanicals, or in the future, humans will be replaced by all parts by mechanics. We may look like these figures over there. And maybe In the future, we'll go to Mars. Like the first one, we will extend all into space and advance our technology more than ever. And we will be gods living forever. And maybe we'll be aliens, just like in the movies. Somehow, civilization, we don't want to replace our human parts with mechanical ones. We rather think that it's better for human arms to exist. So we'll let it evolve over, eventually turning that, just like in the movies. Ours has a lot of periods, and some of these can be very stunning. For example, the Ice Age, where ours is covered with ice. In the water areas, it's gonna be ice, and in the land areas, it's gonna be snow. And life changes there. They adopt, eventually turning into different kinds of species. Some species may split up into subspecies. Some species might go extinct simply because they don't evolve fast enough. But after the Ice Age ended, there's some huge consequences because that the animals has changed to adopt weathers that are very, very cold. When the temperatures suddenly switch to warm temperatures, these animals wouldn't be able to survive unless they adopt fast enough to do that. So a lot of Ice Age animals eventually disappeared, like the mammoths, which is definitely one of the most famous animals in the Ice Age. Elephants, so that they can produce more blood and eventually survive in the cold weather in the Ice Age. But in the warm weathers, it's a consequence because if it's getting too much blood, it will feel very hot and eventually going extinct. Like what I said, there are different kinds of species of humans. We call these subspecies, and we're one of these species, but the other ones go extinct, but we still have records of them, their evolution and their technology. So, all of these are either fossils from evolutions or fossils from humans that are ended by some no reason that scientists don't yet know. You can see that there's more heads that are likely to be the earliest humans. Since just imagine your head as small as this, not even bigger than my fist. So we can see that this is a very early form of human, and maybe people won't recognize it either. Because some can be very weird. For example, this one. I don't even understand how the body parts work. But anyways, let's move on to other huger creatures that we'll uncover. These are animal heads. And like what I said before, some come from evolution, where some are just species that went extinct. You see, there's different kinds of species because their habitats are different. The way they ended up are different. So they evolved, eventually turning all of these subspecies that we know today. Same thing happened with dinosaur bones. We all call these dinosaurs, but dinosaurs has a lot of subspecies. Dinosaurs has subspecies, and subspecies has other subspecies. So this is likely the Titanosaurus because it's the biggest dinosaur meat eater that we know. And these are complete fossils. And you can see that there's predators and also predators and species that eat plants, and plants which are the start of life. And you can see that they each have different heads, different body parts, and all kind of stuff. It's likely come to their diet, what they wanted to eat, and what's diet that they want need to be healthy. And like where they are. They may be different parts of the world, so they develop in different ways. But this is in this exhibit, so stay tuned to see what is in the next exhibit that we'll uncover. You know that, well, the universe has a lot of periods, and so does the earth has a lot of periods. And this is one of these. Each period has different species and animals in different communities and different, well, places. You can see these are the animals in this period. And they can, some can fly, some can eat other animals, and some can walk in long distances, and some can even run faster than a car in some cases. There's also very large animals, like these. These are meat eaters, but meat eaters are no match for dinosaurs that eat grass. They can be very, very big, even bigger than the Titanosaurus. But meat eaters don't come out shy. There's still a lot of meat eaters that are very large. For example, this one that lives in the water. We don't call these dinosaurs though, because some of these large water giants are cousins of dinosaurs that split up with them in evolution. But this is a dinosaur that lives in the water. It most likely eats fish and other species that also eat fish. And you can see that this is a grass eater. It is very, very large compared to small dinosaurs, since it has a very long neck, which means that it eats leaves high on top of the trees. And it was large, so that meteors will take a long time to actually finish it off. Some species went extinct because of other species. For example, dodos went extinct because of humans. If some people tell you that dodos extinct because their legs are too short, then you're lied to, because dodos actually extinct because of evolution. Because it was a small bird that fly and go into an island. They saw a lot of food and live there. Eventually, the island don't have any predators, so they can roam freely, walking and pick up food. They almost have an infinity amount of them. So they grow very large and can't run very fast. But when humans come there, they brought pets with them. Rats, dogs, cats are all of these examples. And they saw dodos as meat lying on the ground, because dodos cannot run that fast. They can escape predators. So these cat and dog is two examples of that, and eventually made them extinct. But that's not the only reason, because humans saw the island as a place with a lot of natural resources, so they began chopping down the trees, because trees in the time means money. So they chop a lot of trees, and the dodos' only protection on gone, they went extinct. And same thing could happen with dinosaurs. For example, other dinosaurs might eat their eggs, and when they eat their eggs and when their populations rise too much, then the eggs will eventually go down all the way to zero, and the species couldn't and their species couldn't lay any more eggs. Means that when that generation is gone, the species will be extinct. So some animals can threaten other animals. It's important to know this.